We have our second guest ever. If you're in a Facebook group, you might be familiar with him, our friend Nathan Heady. The reason why we actually brought him on, he runs his own company, helping out people with sports card called the Cardcierge. And he's going to be with us for the entire podcast. So let's get to know him a little bit before we get to our main topics of the night. So Nathan, what exactly is the Cardcierge to let more people know about it?
So basically what it is it's me helping other people get involved in the hobby. It's it's myself collecting. I do a lot of grading. Last summer basically it launched from having people come to me that I know in different communities I'm in, whether it's family or out. We have a place at the lake in Kentucky, and people were vacationing with us, and they're like, "Hey, we hear you can get some cards. Can you get my kids some, an LA David Cruz rookie?" And it was a $50 rookie, and they're paying me $150 to get it for them cash. Like, they're like, "Here, we don't know how to do it. We don't want to, we don't have the time. My son wants it for his birthday. Can you hook it up?" And it was just like, and I remember like walking in, I even said to my wife, I'm like, I got paid to help someone meet their card needs. Like, isn't that crazy? And then it just kind of went like, whoa, wait a minute. It's like a concierge, helping someone, as a host. Like, I'm basically helping people understand the hobby, and then at the same time, then I get to enjoy it as well. So, and there's Tony Harris who's in our group. He's bought from time to time. He's my co-partner, so we've been friends forever. And I pitched this idea to him, and he was like experiencing the same stuff. So we basically just got into it together. And so he's up in Ohio, I'm down in Tennessee, and we do a lot of shows. We do a lot of groups with people. We meet different people, doing grading and stuff. So we kind of partner from afar, but also, we spread, conquer and divide kind of deal.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, no, that's definitely awesome for sure, especially the conquer and divide, just so you can get multiple people from multiple places. Yeah, no, that's definitely a sick, cool business idea. Get more people into the hobby. I know you happen to run card shows out in your own area. What made you want to start getting into that as well?
So I'm close to Nashville, so they have a lot of shows and some pretty good shows. We have a big one right now. It's got 700, tables this weekend, but we're an hour away. So a lot of our local community, right, we're kind of out, kind of off the beaten path. People got tired of driving there. And when you got we started realizing there's a lot of people in this rural area that loves cards. And so a buddy of mine I met, we started talking about this. So why don't we just try to start our own? We knew there was a community. We knew there was a lot of kids that were coming into this new card shop that was in town. And so we just said, let's try it. And the church that I pastor a church, actually, a small little church. And so we had this space that was empty, on the weekend. So we said, why don't we take over the church? We'll see if we can get 30 tables to fill. And we sold out in 2 weeks. And we've had 2 shows, and we've averaged 70 tables a show. And it's Pokemon collectibles and sports cards. And those 2 shows blew up. And we're signing a contract next week with a big middle school here to get their entire gym for the rest of the year. Like, basically
That's
every
awesome.
month we get their gym, and at some point we're going to be able to fit 160 tables in there. And within 2 months, we already have 70 vendors on our list. Like, they're driving from Clarksville, Tennessee, which is 2 hours away, Knoxville, Nashville. They're coming from all over the state for these shows. And it was just 2 guys. It's like, hey, this hobby's big here. There's a lot of families and kids that would want to come. There's a lot of dealers, and these dealers are driving because they're kind of tired of the same thing over and over and over. And they want to meet new people, and they're doing great. Like, they said, our show, all the dealers are saying they're making more money and more connection here than some of the other ones because it's something new and fresh. So
that's awesome, man. Congratulations, brother.
What got you originally into collecting cards?
So, I mean,
eventually into breaks.
Yeah, I mean, I collected cards as a kid, right? I mean, like, a lot of it's in the 80s and 90s, big time, Griffey. I grew up in St. Louis. I was a big McGuire guy, like Cardinals. So we were always trying to get all the big names, big basketball guy, football. And then, got married, had kids, got out of the hobby like many people. And then COVID hit. And I actually was ill for about 2 years. They didn't know what I had. Thought I even had ALS at one point. So I was basically homebound during COVID. And of course they didn't want me to get COVID. So I had to kind of hide out for a while. And I just got on. I found you guys on here. I found a couple break rooms that yeah, I really enjoyed and became like family, and just started breaking, and then kind of got back into the hobby through that. But I mean, if it wasn't for, and of course, I spent money. My wife were like, man, you're spending a little too much. But even she said like, hey, this hobby's helping you. Like she saw that it was really helping, keeping me positive, and um, so through that, it's just kind of taken off, and then gotten back into trading and selling and all kinds of stuff.
It's awesome that like even in a low point in your life, you were able to find the hobby community and it was there, treat it like a family. That's just awesome. I love hearing stories like that. It's great for the hobby, man. It's really great for the hobby.
Oh, it is, and that's what it's about, right? I mean, obviously we make money, and we have, there's some big hits we can hit, but I mean, I gotta look at our break rooms as community. Like, it's funny. I've never met you guys in person. I've been across the country from almost everybody here, but it's funny. You feel like you know these people. Like when you guys had Sal on, it was like, hey, Sal's on. I mean, it's like our friends, and we don't even know each other really, but we do through this, right? So one thing I would add too is one of the things that I've been able to do is a lot of my buddies from college and growing up that have been out of the hobby for so long, they've been watching this. It's like they've been watching the Cardcierge blow up, and the stuff online. They see some of the stuff I get in breaks, and they're asking questions. So I've actually been kind of teaching my friends how to get back in it, and then I'm helping them buy cards for their kids. One of my best friends, like I buy cards for him and then grade them, and then he's been learning it. So now he's buying his own cards, sending them to me. I grade them, and I'm going to send him a package tomorrow for him and his 8-year-old boy. Like they're eating up with it. Like so now it's a dad with his son, and I kind of helped teach them how to get back in it, and now they're killing it on their own. Like.
That's awesome.
And then I grade, and then I sell stuff for them, and so I make money for myself, but I make money for other clients too. So I'm like a broker in that way too. And then once they're ready, it's like taking the training wheels off, and then they're doing it on their own. So that's another aspect of the business that's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely fulfilling too on your end.
Right, exactly.
So my next question is, what is your favorite card that's in your PC right now?
Oh man. It's kind of tricky because I've actually sold some PC cards I thought I'd never sell. So I'd say right now, just kind of my favorite, because I graded this, is CJ Stroud Red Wave.
Ooh, that's nice.
And that was, I traded with a 13-year-old kid at our first show, and the kid kind of got one in. I mean, I don't know if you remember the Jalen Waddle RPA I got off you guys, the hit parade. And the kid's like, I'll give you this raw, and the comps look good. And then when he left the table, I realized he had got me by about $30. And I'm like, that's okay, I'll grade it. And it gemmed. So now it's $500-600 card. So that's that one. And then Gilly knows this. See if I can find a picture, but I have a Chet Holmgren 1-of-1 gold vinyl auto that I've been trying to sell. We've been going back and forth with people. I maybe turned down a little too much at one point, but it's okay. We've been negotiating around the $20,000 range. So, but that card is insane. I mean, it's just a lot of fun. Just to, and I love Chet. I'm a big Oklahoma City guy. So that's probably my favorite card I own now. But I love that Stroud because I got a deal and I graded it and it turned out pretty good. So
that's like the little sidebar, right? Like that Chet Holmgren, that's like not fully life-changing money, but it's definitely situation-changing money. Like, the 10 grand in credit card debt you racked up buying cards, now you can pay it off, right? And then start doing it again.
Let me tell you. And I would tell you, my wife, like, I got the NBA package this year just to watch Chet, like, because every night we're watching, make sure he didn't get hurt. And my wife knows nothing about NBA. She hates basketball. She comes in and she goes, how's our boy doing? And I'm like, what boy? She's like, what do you mean, what boy? The $20,000, like, because she told me, like, after hoping to get more at National, and just I didn't realize how crazy National is last summer. And she basically just said, because if you don't sell this, I'm going to kill you. so it's actually kind of put a real cool vibe between us of just, kind of keeping up with it. And like you said, it'll pay off a lot of stuff and kind of set me up for my business too.
The last question is, what is your favorite card that we pulled for you?
Oh man. Yeah, that's a tough one.
I know it's a tough one. I hit you with that.
Because there for a while, I mean, I've hit good cards, but the hit parade, I went like 2 months without a hit parade. And you pulled the first one you guys hit for me was the Brock Purdy auto. So that was like kind of a great way to get off get off Schneid there. But I would say now it's like, let me see. I don't know. I'd say the Patrick Mahomes downtown was pretty awesome.
You got a Josh Allen downtown coming your way too.
Do what?
You just got the Josh Allen coming your way too.
And the Josh Allen, right? So, I got to say one card though that I did not hit, and I know Tom and I talked about this. It's been a couple of years, but when Mac Jones came out, if you remember the craze with Mosaic, and you guys were running one boxers, and it was $75 for the Patriots, and no one had bought. Like you couldn't get the Patriots. Like you had some guys that were getting them snap fill, and they were there for a minute, and I kept debating because I didn't have the money, but I was like, okay, do I spend the money I don't have? But I just felt like he was going to hit, and it was the green. You
swirl.
You remember that?
The FOTL exclusive swirl, yeah.
And I wrote you, and I said, I don't want to know how much do I, and you're like, no, you don't.
Yeah.
See, now I'm like, oh, okay, it's
The crazy part is, who hit that card? Was the same kid that hit the black Fionite 1 of 1 and sold it for $100K. Same guy.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
See,
it was the first break
that.
he had jumped in with us for like a year and a half, and he was like, you know what? Heck with it. Jumped in and bam. And then that was it. It skipped town. I think when he graded it, it ended up coming back a 9.
Okay.
Mosaic's always known for its, surface. But I think he still got it at that point. I mean, he quick sold it. I think he got probably 5, 6, 7 grand for it at that point.
That's what I figured.
Yeah.
But it made me, but that's why when you guys said the other day, like I pay a lot of attention, almost too much attention to the hit parade. It's because I don't want to screw up again. Like I don't want to miss that hit. So it's, it's hit or miss. It's fun. It's the risk of it. It's the gamble, and it feels good when you hit something big. So
he's the hit parade whisperer, nation. Hit him up in the DMs and tell you he'll give you a secret sauce. Just don't touch his teams.
That we got to know a little bit more about Nathan and his company. I hope you guys go and check him out. He's a real solid dude, and if you ever want to trade cards or sell with him, I personally dealt with him, and a lot of other people have personally dealt with him. Real good dude, legit, has my full support.
Appreciate it.